I'm telling you, man, I think you would actually really enjoy Upgrade.
Upgrade. Oh, the guy who looks like Tom Hardy that isn't Tom Hardy.
Exactly.
Movie.
Yeah.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a thriller. It's pretty fast paced, but really for me, I think the selling point for you is it's super technophobic. The opening of the movie is them getting into an accident with a self-driving car. And the second it happened, I was like, this is James's bread and butter. Because for someone who's as into Star Wars as you are, you fucking hate technology.
I don't hate technology. I just hate the dependency on technology. Look, we don't have to get into that right now. Let's just talk about the movies that we saw. I don't remember. Did you give that a need to see it?
I don't think we talked about the trailer on this podcast.
That's a good point. Probably not. But, well, I saw a movie that we did talk about the trailer for.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
And that would be The Meg.
Oh, okay.
As in, oh my god, it's a megalodon.
Yes.
The Meg.
Now, I remember us saying in the review, if Jason Statham doesn't punch a shark, shame on you. Did we get Jason Statham punching a shark?
So I don't want to spoil it for people, so I'll just say, spoiler alert,
Okay.
and then spoil it. No, he doesn't punch a shark.
He doesn't?
Does not punch a shark.
Fuck that, I'm not seeing it.
I went and saw The Meg with our bad movie correspondent, Jenny, with intention of enjoying ourselves.
Yeah.
But we did not. And I will say this about it. It's boring. It's
That's
just a boring movie.
How do
Which
you
a
make
movie about a giant fucking shark with Jason Statham in it.
Yeah.
How did you make that a boring movie? I'm usually pretty forgiving when it comes to blockbusters, but that sucker was a snooze fest. I'm telling you. Anyway,
I'm not going anywhere fucking near that thing.
Super disappointing. I wouldn't recommend it to like almost anyone. And there was a lot of that movie that took place in that like underwater station, and it was mostly boring and dark, and visual aspects not even cool. Most of the deaths happen like in explosions, like not even
Fire
sharks.
has a bigger kill count than the shark in the Meg?
It's stupid. It's dumb. Anyway.
Well, I mean, do you want to talk about trailers? Try and get the taste of the Meg out
Holy
of your
shit,
mouth?
are we recording?
We have been for the
we
past... Oh, God. Yeah, we should just get into this.
Let's get into it.
You can haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Turn the lights, grab a seat, pour yourselves a whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're trailer hits. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're trailer hits.
Oh my God, it's a megalodon.
That is exactly right. Don't see the movie. I'm telling you. Just save the money. Save your time, even if it was free. I'm just saying, save your time. It's not worth it.
That is a burning...
It's boring. It's just boring.
Sorry, we were supposed to get into it. Hi, welcome to Trailer Hitch.
This is Trailer Hitch, everyone. Welcome, and I'm James.
I'm Kevin.
Welcome.
We here at Trailer Hitch rate and review movie trailers. We rate them on a scale of need to see more, or never need to see. If James and I both give a trailer a need to see rating, we see the movie, report back to you guys on a segment called Trailer in the Rear View, in which we review the movie and trailer in retrospect. But before we can talk about movies, before we can talk about anything in retrospect, we gotta look present spec? What's the...
I like present spec. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a fan of that. So let's go with that.
It's not a word,
so what's
but
happening...
fuck it, Shakespeare did it.
What's happening...
He created stuff.
Look, all words are made up. Doesn't matter.
Well, you want to... we're gonna talk about some trailers. Now, there were quite a few trailers that ended up dropping over the course of the past couple of weeks. A lot of those were trailers for films that we had already reviewed trailers for.
Yeah, like trailer number 2s.
Boatload of trailer number 2s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tons of trailer number 2s, and then a handful of...
I'd get like a little push notification, like, oh, a trailer came out. And I'm like, all right, rad. Like, is there enough in this to talk about the show? Oh, we already talked about it in the fucking show for 15 minutes.
Yep.
We're going to be doing kind of an extended tune-up section. We had so many of these trailer number 2s drop, and we wanted to kind of touch on everything. There was kind of a unifying theme with our interpretation for all of these trailer number 2s that we want to talk about. After that, in case you're wondering, it feels like there were at least a few trailer number 1s that came and went over the course of the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we got that covered too. We got reviews of The Frontrunner coming up, we have a review of mid-90s coming up, and we have a review of Anna and the Apocalypse. So, we're going to get into all of that right now. We're going to be talking about these tune-ups. We're going to first start with First Man.
That is a very good one to start on, Kevin.
You know, if it's on a silver platter, fucking take your fork and give it a stab.
Shoot for the moon, I say.
Oh,
see what I did there?
Because Neil Armstrong did.
He sure did.
3,
Your dad's going to the moon.
2,
What are the chances you're not coming back?
1.
Do you think you're coming back?
All right, so eagle-eared listeners may remember we reviewed the First Man trailer.
The first man trailer.
The first Man trailer,
Right.
thank you. James and I were not impressed with it.
For me, anyway, I think I landed on it was a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
There were like little things in it that I just felt like I would have done differently in a trailer.
Those little things ended up adding up. I remember
totally.
a big thing for me was that first trailer felt like it could not figure out pace or tension at all. I remember there were like a few sequences where Ryan Gosling is singing or he's like saying this story to his kids. Just fucking play that over like this series of shots that happens immediately after that, and that would have been really effective, and they didn't do that.
Right. And then we went, damn, he's singing. We're accidentally watching the La La Land trailer. So then we pulled
It's
up.
an occupational hazard with Trailer Hitch. We watched the wrong trailer a lot.
Yeah, but no, what I mean is the song he's singing to his child, right? And I think also
City of Stars is where I'm going, and hope I don't die.
You're rushing, Kevin.
I am. Fuck. Throw a chair at my head. Get me on my game.
So I think the other thing too that we talked about, Ryan Gosling's portrayal of Neil Armstrong was just very bland. Blank slate.
There really wasn't much
He was
there.
a blank
It was
slate.
just, it was all played stoic.
Yeah.
And
if that's the way he was, that's fine. But it's like, do something different, though, for a movie because you are trying to engage an audience.
Yeah.
Or at least show us something different in the trailer. Anyway, should we talk about this new trailer?
Yeah, and I wanted to go through all that because this trailer basically improves on all of those.
It's almost like they listened to our podcast.
I'm not going to give us too much credit yet.
I'm
just
going
because
to. I'll give us credit.
I'm willing to call this a fluke.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like there was some trailer editor. I have to assume there were plenty of all-nighters and stuff for that first trailer. And then he came in after like a week of vacation, he got some rest, and then he hit play, and that guy or gal was just fucking mortified by what they were watching. I know I can do better. And then they sat down, they put in the time, and that's how we got the second First Man trailer.
And here we are, talking about it.
And it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's definitely better. One of the main things I remember talking about in that other one, I think, is his son asks him at the dinner table,
Are you gonna come
Are you
back?"
coming back home or
Yeah.
something? And I think in the other trailer, if I'm remembering correctly, Neil Armstrong says, like, yeah, I promise, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think I was just like, dude.
You specifically said don't have that. Have him like be unsure at the table.
Yeah.
That's
And
what we got.
and that's what is in this trailer. So I'm not taking credit, but I'm totally taking credit.
Sure.
Because I thought that was a good idea. I thought that was a good note, and they clearly went in that direction, and I think it worked a lot better.
You have him singing to his kid at the beginning, and that carries through for the majority of the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
The score in this, I also think, is really effective too.
Yep.
Like, definitely builds to a crescendo well. We do get a little bit more of Claire Foy. She seems like she is trying to break through to him to be like, you can fucking die doing this,
Yeah.
man. Like, you need to reconcile
Right,
with
stop
that.
acting like a statue, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is show some emotion. I like how we saw some moon stuff too. We all know where this goes. That's not the point of this
Right.
movie. The point is going to be, what didn't you know about this journey?
It could
you
be
know?
the first man who failed to get to the moon.
Right.
But the fact that you're calling him Neil Armstrong doesn't make me think we're doing an Inglourious Bastards-esque left turn in history.
Yes, we all know he lands on the moon, he steps foot on the moon, he comes back from the moon, and he talks about it a lot. That all happened in real life.
And then a bunch of people said that what he did was fake many years later.
Yes, exactly. So, anyway, the reason I said that about the moon is they're not convincing themselves that they're showing people a story they've never heard before in the way that it ends.
Yeah.
Everyone knows they land on the moon and they come back safely. This trailer was more about, oh no, the journey to there is what the story's really about.
Yeah.
The dangerous, like, this shouldn't work. They should have died. Like, that's
absolutely.
Essentially what this trailer is about. So I really enjoyed this trailer.
Yeah, overall, I was really digging this. I'm usually not that attuned to movies that are about a real life subject and the entire movie being like, it was really hard.
Right.
It's like, I would have to fucking assume so. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a movie made about it.
Exactly.
That said, I feel like there is enough craft in here now where I'm kind of willing to forgo that and potentially be taken to orbit. I would say that's no moon. That's just a good trailer.
I'd be your co-pilot on that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you change your rating on it?
I would just upgrade it to a higher need to see more.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, this took it into the outer atmosphere.
Really?
So
Because you were at a never need to see for that first one.
That's what I meant. It pushed me to the next one, which is need to see more.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought you were going to like completely reverse
No,
yourself.
I would have said outer space. I said outer atmosphere.
Oh, okay.
The
yeah.
middle
The
middling
yeah.
ground. At the end of the day, it is still very much a biopic.
Yeah.
That I don't really know if it's going to bring much new to the table. Like, the trailer was better, but yeah. So that's how I feel about it.
All right, cool.
Let's move on then.
Yeah, man, fall's right around the corner, which means Halloween is around the corner. There is a second Halloween trailer that dropped.
Halloween in September.
Yeah, and I really just feels like you're celebrating it early. It's not that special.
It's not. It doesn't have as nice a ring as Christmas in July, but
That's creepy.
He is a killer, but he will be killed tonight. Happy Halloween, Michael.
So the second Halloween trailer more so focuses on, we get much more of Michael stalking. That first trailer was really him, you know, fucking throwing teeth onto floors and like stabbing people the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
This is much more playing up just the creep factor of Michael Myers and having long tracking shots, walking through someone's driveway, picking up a hammer, following someone into their house and then killing them.
yeah. The camera following him like Mickey Rourke from The Wrestler.
Yeah,
style, you know?
Basically,
Yeah.
they really played up Jamie Lee Curtis effectively almost as crazy as Mike Myers through her quest to kill Mike Myers.
Yeah, and it's almost like you've said that before.
So this is
In the
the
past.
second time it happened this episode. That was like a big thing that I wanted to see drawn out more, and they did it.
Yeah,
So,
right.
again, maybe that trailer editor came into work that day and they saw their buddy working on the first man and like really putting in the time and effort, and they went, fuck, I want to do better too. And they sat down. Or, nah, we probably had no influence.
Coincidences happen.
It does, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So what'd you think of this trailer?
I liked it, actually, quite a bit.
Yeah. The music really was perfect.
Yep.
Michael Myers, oddly well lit in this trailer. Like, you're really not using a whole lot of hiding behind corners or in shadows. He's like, he's really in focus. Mm-hmm. He's like your focus of most of the shots.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's he up to?
He is typically pretty well lit the entire time. And it is, I agree, it is a really nice touch. Because
It's
then,
different.
Yeah. One, it's different. And two, I would say it's just as scary to have him be in complete view, completely lit.
Yeah.
And this unblinking monster is just standing there waiting for you.
Yeah, I really liked how they held off on bringing Jamie Lee Curtis into the trailer until way later. We really just focused on
Establishing
Michael
the
Myers.
threat.
Yep.
And then
I liked the video game aspect of he doesn't have a weapon. We follow him into the first house. He finds a hammer, uses it, kills his first victim. Oh, there's a butcher knife here. Upgrade. And then he keeps marching to the next house. Yeah, right? So I liked that aspect. It was less goofy. Like we talked about the teeth thing from the last trailer.
Which it makes an appearance here. It doesn't have the same build-up as the first
No.
trailer, and it's
Yeah.
not as effective.
It's goofy, though, for us. Like, we were just like, this is goofy, right?
Yeah.
And I think I had to remind myself and you that, no, the first one was goofy too.
The first one is goofy too. And the tea thing was goofy, but I think in a way that really suited it.
Oh, it was great.
And
we talked about it a lot.
Oh, yeah, no, that was
for
the
a
takeaway.
Good chunk of that review.
The takeaway for that first
Yeah.
trailer. This one, I wouldn't say it's like Novocaine dulled by the fact that there's no setup, but...
Let's move on from the dentist puns.
Just get into what we thought.
Yeah, but I think it was part of an overall montage, which is why it didn't really get the proper build-up.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We know the proper build-up is there.
Yeah.
Because of the last trailer. And then Jamie Lee Curtis just, like, going ham.
Which is really cool. And it's also really cool to see a woman in her, 50s, early 60s as the hero in a horror movie. Because, women in their 50s or 60s are the ones that are usually iced within the first act.
Yep.
And it's really cool to see, the 60-year-old woman running around with a gun. It's like, this is what I'm doing. I am finding Mike Myers and I'm fucking killing him.
Exactly. And she mentions it multiple times.
Yeah.
That is her...
To the point where her daughter's like, we need to take you to a doctor. Yeah.
That is, the only thing she cares about.
Well, and every aspect of her family is tied to it in some way. Like her going through the house and being like, you don't have enough security here. What are you going to do if Mike Myers comes and all that other sort of stuff? Which, sure, Thanksgivings with her would be, kind of annoying. But at the same time, in this context, for Halloween, one holiday earlier, it's exactly what we need.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see her nosedive, her triple Lindy into insanity in this movie. I think, again, we talked about it. That is almost half the fun of what this one looks to be. Mm-hmm. Is Michael Myers mayhem and Jamie Lee Curtis going nuts.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember where I was at the last one, but if I was less than, I bumped it. If not, I'm staying the same at a need to see it.
And I was at a need to see more the last time. I'm at a need to see now.
Cheers, man. Double need to see. I'll take it. I'm just really excited for good scary movies. I feel like we've been on a renaissance of good, solid, scary movie stories, like with The Conjuring and the It reboot. There's a lot of schlock out there too, but I really like seeing a really quality, good made horror movie, scary movie.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, I'm glad that we found a favorite for this episode, but now we have the favorite to talk about.
With a U, Kevin.
Yes.
As in Y-O-U. Kevin's my favorite. Oh, shucks.
You have become close to Abigail.
You're jealous.
You must send Abigail away.
I do not want to.
Let's shoot something.
All right, let's talk about
so yeah, the favorite.
The movie, The Favorite.
The movie, The Favorite.
Right.
So the new joint by the Greek guy who did The Lobster and Killing of a Sacred Deer and Dogtooth, that whole lot.
Starring Rachel Weisz,
Emma Stone, Olivia Colman, I believe?
I don't know.
There's so many fucking
There's
Olivias.
so many Olivias. We've covered this before. It's one of the Olivias.
One of
Definitely not Olivia Cook. Although, maybe.
It could be.
So, anyway.
Not enough intel.
Tell us a little bit about the last time we reviewed this.
So the last time we reviewed it, we're actually kind of doing this backwards, because the last time we reviewed a teaser trailer in our main drag.
Yeah.
Which is something that we tend not to do. We kind of made an exception for The Favorite, because it nailed the atmosphere and the tone so well that we wanted to discuss it.
It did, yeah.
But, of course, because it was a teaser, we walked away from it and we're like, it still doesn't give you any sort of inkling into what the story is here. And so for this trailer, maybe what happened was the trailer editor came into work that day. They saw the person working on First Man and were like, I'm inspired, but not enough to do better. Then they saw the person working on Halloween and it's like...
The next door over.
Yeah, and then they were like... Oh, it's going to look weird if I don't do better now. What we're getting at is The Favorite definitely took those notes too, and now this is very much centered on not just the tone and atmosphere, it still retains all of that, while giving us a pretty concrete idea of what the story is.
Exactly, yeah.
Now that this has happened 3 times in a row, okay, I might be willing to entertain We Have Someone's Ear. And if that's the case... Feel free to write in at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com and we can give you an address in which to mail a fucking check.
That's right. If you could credit us at the end of your trailers, that'd be fine. I wouldn't hate it. But anyway, let's talk about it. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, I really don't have much to add because, again, I was definitely in the need to see column for that first favorite trailer. I still am with this one. Really, in terms of tone and atmosphere, the only thing that really is different is this one seems to end on a more depraved note. Just seeing the characters over the course of this trailer, you can definitely see their circumstances getting to them, and seeing Emma Stone sitting on the floor bawling her eyes out.
Right.
And other characters seemingly just going mad. Like, that is that director's bread and butter, is just drive everyone to the point of insanity by the end of the film. But 2 definitely seems like there is more of like an overall arc with the tone in the movie too. And the fact that we're building tone into an arc as well is pretty cool and pretty neat to see. In terms of the story itself, it seems like a pretty straightforward premise. We have Emma Stone's character comes to this manor. Really, she's thrown out into this manor and looks for a job. She is taken in by this royal woman who is just fucking nuts. And eventually, Emma Stone's character becomes the favorite. She becomes the more trusted companion over Rachel Weisz, who is this dutiful right hand to this piece of royalty.
The queen. She's queen.
Queen,
yeah.
yeah.
You can call her queen.
And that creates conflict. Like, that's basically the premise going through this. Now, that director's movies tend to have pretty high concepts. I know we talked about this a lot for Killing of a Sacred Deer, that are really hard to distill into a trailer. This seems super straightforward comparatively.
Which
like,
I'm a fan of.
Sure. But it is interesting to see him take A, B, C, D, E premise and just add his own style to it. And I'm liking it so far, but how about you? Because you were the one that was at the need to see more range.
Yeah, I definitely needed to see some sort of plot or story or direction of what this movie is actually about, other than the humor, which I did like. And I still like the humor of it. And I'm not knocking it for being simple. There's still something about it that I'm just like, I would see that, but also, like, I don't have to see that movie. Like, I could wait on that one. So I'm still at a need to see more for this. All right. I thought the button was a little weird. It was just kind of like this weird semi-laugh from Emma Stone. It was a weird off-kilter note to end on that I thought was strange. But, yeah, doesn't need to see more.
It was the only one that you didn't upgrade.
Unless Halloween, I gave a need to see it.
Ironically
before,
enough, the favorite, it could not fucking muster any favor out of you.
Sorry. Not sorry.
I would have picked that as a clear frontrunner for that to upgrade. Which, hey, speaking of the frontrunner, if we want to get into our main drag, we can talk about mid-90s?
No. See, you had a perfect segue. You set it up. I was leading into it. It's the front runner.
Should we do? I wanted to see if a left turn would do off kilter. That's the favorite.
Nope. See, I don't like that.
Fine.
We're going front runner.
Fine.
My name's Gary Hart, and I'm running for president.
Gary Hart is the man to beat in '88.
Senator, I want to ask you some questions about the woman at your townhouse.
You can't be serious. No one is staying in my home.
I am serious, sir.
We can't hide from this.
Just because some other paper used gossip as front page news, I mean, that doesn't mean we have to.
It does. It does now.
Go on, Gary. Say it.
There's going to be a story tomorrow about me.
So that was Frontrunner, the next film by Jason Reitman.
Yeah.
I've always been a massive fan of, even the films that I have thought are just okay. I still love him.
Did you see Men, Women, and Children?
No, I didn't see Men, Women, and Children. I haven't seen Labor Day. He didn't do Tully.
He did.
He did do Tully.
It's really good.
I know. And that was one I was like, God, I'm so excited. He's back, baby. Even though I haven't seen it yet. So I'm excited about this one, and I'm going to let Kevin take it away with a little bit more details.
Yep, I'll rock the vote for you. This is directed by Jason Reitman, written by Matt Bai, Jay Carson, and Jason Reitman. This is starring Hugh Jackman, Vera Farmiga. I never know how to say your last name.
Farmiga?
Sorry, Vera, but, your career seems fine without my help.
You're doing great. Better than us.
J.K. Simmons is also in this. Alfred Molina, Bill Burr. Our random shout out, because we here at Trailer Hitch, we like to give shout outs to lesser known cast members, because the top billed people, they always hog the credit.
Very interested to see who you'll land on for this one.
Robin Dyke plays the NBC News reporter. Hey, Robin, good job, bud.
Starting out in news. That's a good spot.
Journalism is a very noble field,
well
unless
done, Robin.
In the context of the Frontrunner, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be really brief with this because I'm assuming you've probably seen the trailer if you're listening to this.
Hopefully.
If not, just a little crash course here. Hugh Jackman plays a real presidential candidate, had a clear, concise message, had a lot of great ideas about politics.
Mr. Gary Hart, if you weren't knowing who Kevin was talking about.
No one really cares about his message. They just kind of want a figurehead. They want the nice snapshot photo.
He fits the bill.
Until he is caught in an affair.
Oh, you jumped the gun, Kevin.
And
you went right there, didn't you?
After the affair is discovered, that throws everything into turmoil. His marriage, the campaign, it changes the way that elections were documented in terms of journalism. And
how they're reported on.
How they were reported on.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what did I think of this?
What did you think of it?
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't really that taken by this. I guess it's fucked up to say, but in the current political climate, this all seems quaint as fuck. Like, realistically, at this point, if there's just a affair, it's like, what do you mean that there was only one and it wasn't a porn star?
To counteract your point or to disagree with it,
come at me.
I think that is what makes it so interesting, is the fact that we're living in a world right now where, like, in one election, none of that matters anymore. But this one photo derailed this guy's life. Like, it's so hard to wrap your head around the fact that was the case.
Bear in mind, like, the quaint thing wasn't necessarily a criticism. It was more just an observation. And, like, overall, I would agree with, like, the core component of that argument of, like, that's something that is really interesting, that this was enough back in 88 to derail an entire campaign.
Not just enough. This was unheard of, sort of, because... Not unheard of. Obviously, politicians have been, sleeping around on their
JFK.
But the difference with JFK is the reporting and the media, who back then kind of like was super buddy with whoever was in the office, and it's almost like the newspapers and the media worked to protect the president's sort of secrets because it was more about like their policies and what they were doing in a weird way. It's so really strange.
But and bear in mind, like, I have no idea what Jimmy Carter had up his fucking sleeve, but I feel like Clinton was really the first time where that was like the turning point.
That was hung out to dry.
Scandal.
Yeah. But I think Gary Hart was a big lead-in to that. It was a lead-in to media being like, we should be looking at people's personal lives.
Well, I don't know about Gary Hart's politics, but like, definitely if he was a Republican,
I don't know anything about his politics.
Then I'm sure it was eye for an eye type shit. Like, hey, we hung Gary Hart out to dry. Why are we letting Clinton get a fucking pass?
Right. Exactly.
But in a more serious way, as of right now, this feels like a story that I've seen a lot already, whether it be in literal politics or in TV episodes with like an arc that is very similar to this, or it's just a very common story. And so I was like, okay, well, what am I getting out of this one specifically? And honestly, the angle that I was more interested in was the idea that these news outlets were chasing this sort of stuff. There's a point where a reporter confronts Alfred Molina and is like, just because they're running gossip doesn't mean we have to. And Alfred Molina says, it does now.
Yeah.
Like, that's how this
everything
is
has changed.
Yeah.
And I see the writing on the wall, and we need to jump on it.
We need to adapt to this. And I thought that aspect was really interesting and had some pretty cool stuff to say. In terms of the actual meat and potatoes of good guy politician wants to do good, but then ends up fucking someone, and his campaign manager not knowing what to do. Okay, yeah, sure, I can see all of this happening. But the macro level effect of what happened, of this is how it changed the way reporting was done for elections.
Yeah.
And that does play some factor into what fucking happened in 2016. That sort of stuff, I think, was really cool because I felt like that was something new to be said.
Yeah.
In terms of Hugh Jackman, I think all of the acting in this looks pretty, across the board, really well done.
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual story and content there, I wasn't really getting too much out of this. But how about you? What did you think?
I find it really fascinating. And again, what I will agree with you on is the fascinating aspect is, for me, the media angle or, the reporting angle. And I think as a trailer, I think it was a mistake to end it on him, his phone call to his wife.
Yeah.
I think Alfred Molina's line about this is what reporting is now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it just changed. That would have been a perfect ending line. But you'd obviously have to, you couldn't just swap them. You obviously would have to rework your entire trailer to build to that, to be your end finale of your trailer. I think that would have been so much more impactful for people in today's climate.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that aspect. I disagree with you on my excitement for the story itself. I do find it really fascinating. I'm excited to find out more. But for me, because I think it could have been ordered differently in a better trailer, I'm giving this a need to see more.
Sure. And bear in mind, I don't like to be an originality hound. But that said, it just felt like there was some aspect missing for me out of that main storyline. And honestly, I feel like if you switch it, because right now it's definitely playing it like Hugh Jackman is the A plot, the reporting is the B plot through this. And I'm sure the reason why they ended it the way they did was him saying there's a story coming out about me is a culmination of those two worlds colliding and how it affects
You're not
him.
wrong. Yep, that's a good point.
I do agree that the Alfred Molina line is the far stronger line. But for me, ultimately, I think if this flipped, where if the A plot was the reporting, the B plot is Hugh Jackman's character, I would be vastly more interested.
Yeah.
Because that is ultimately the story here. It's this one event happened and this is how it changed everything.
Yeah.
And I think getting the macro of it and then focusing in on the micro of this is how it affects this guy's life sounds really fascinating to me. But I think taking that aspect, the micro, and blowing that up into a microscope, especially when this does change the way politics is reported on, felt like a weird choice to me.
You're using a lot of scientific words here, Kevin. You're losing me a little bit. I'm going to focus on the micro.
Did I say movie? What I meant to say was film. Sorry for being a douche.
I think you have those backwards.
But anyway, I'm at a need to see more, I guess. I did like the music cue through this.
It was good.
I think that ended up helping to retain my attention.
Normally, I'm not a fan of something sticking with the same music cue throughout the whole trailer, but I found
it's a fairly dynamic song.
This worked really well. Also, what was really dynamic was starting the trailer with that 4x3 home video, his campaign video with no music.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very stark to go right from there to 16:9 and all the music in the world just playing for you. And voiceover and stuff. So I thought that was good too. There you go. Shall we move on, Kevin?
Yeah, let's get into the middle of our main drag
middle
here.
of the road here.
Yeah. And in order to do this, we're going to have to look back fondly with nostalgia.
We're going back in time.
To the mid-90s.
Oh, no.
This is awesome. I've never been in a car without someone's mom or dad before.
You're so cute.
That's why we ride a piece of wood, what that does to somebody's spirit.
Yo, Stevie fucking insane.
Fuck him,
I remember the 90s not being that great, personally.
I was relatively young, so
Yeah.
I was just rolling with it, man.
From an aesthetic standpoint, it was just not. Anyway, this is mid-90s. This is written and directed by Jonah Hill, starring Sonny... Oh,
I've heard of Jonah Hill.
I'm so sorry, Sonny. Soljic.
Yeah.
I guess. Lucas Hedges, Catherine Watterson, Jared Carmichael. Our random shout out is going to go to Lauren B. Mosley, who plays Nurse. Hello, Nurse. Good job. You're in a movie.
Very appreciative of that occupation.
All right. So mid-90s. It is a coming-of-age film that is a period piece in a sense, and set in the mid-90s.
Not in a sense. It is, for sure.
Now, I know it's 2018. Sure, it is a coming-of-age story set in a different time period. I know there just aren't that many of those going around right now within the past few years. I defy you. Name 45 of them. But that is more or less what we get here. What this is specifically focusing on is a kid growing up in LA, and he gets taken in by a group of skateboarders. And he's definitely drawn in by their acts of rebellion. He's definitely drawn in by the fact that they don't seem to answer to anyone and they can just do whatever they want.
Sure, yeah.
But there is this sense of camaraderie that he is missing from his home life with an older brother who is an older brother to him in the mid-90s. Like, his older brother kicks the shit out of him on occasion. There are points in which he does egg his older brother on, but because he doesn't get that acceptance from his older brother, that draws him to this crowd. And through that, he kind of learns who he is as a person. All right.
Skateboarding culture, mid-90s.
So yeah, I mean, like, I guess I'll start out the gate. Like, these probably have my favorite needle drops of the year for a trailer. I thought every song choice in this was perfectly with what was going on screen. I thought it built really well to that big, bombastic, climactic song. I'm not sure what that one is. I know Kanye West has sampled it, but I thought
what hasn't he sampled? That's narrowing
this
it
fucking
down.
podcast.
Right.
But if those trailer editors are listening to us, Kanye, if you're in, hit us up. But yeah, that's the first thing that I wanted to get out the bat. How about you? Did you? Because I know you're really big on music and trailers.
I was pretty unfamiliar with the song choices in this trailer, but like you, I absolutely loved every single one of them.
Yeah.
I thought it was really great. I thought it was a little on the nose when it switched from kind of like positive, happy music to instantly dramatic and sad.
There is that middle song.
There wasn't much of a transition. It was just like, boom, okay, we're sad now, guys.
No, there was like a few hits of guitar in there. It was like kind of like somber guitar was sort of like our bridge to that big bombastic song at the end.
Okay. I just remember,
but
I'm not talking about the bombastic thing. I'm talking about going from happy in the beginning to somber before bombastic.
Sure.
I like the terms we're using. I think we're getting very specific without giving too much
scientific,
away
you would say.
Scientific, even. Otherwise, I really, really, really dug this. I don't know much about skateboarding culture in any era, let alone the mid-90s. I know Tony Hawk Pro Skater for Sony PlayStation. That was about the extent of it for me.
Let's see if we can name more than 3 skateboarders right now.
Bob Burnquist, Tony Hawk, Bam Margera, Officer Dick.
Was that one of the unlockables?
One of the unlockables.
We'll count them.
Look,
all right.
What I'm saying is I don't know much about the culture, and as someone who doesn't know much about the skateboarding culture, I really dug this, and I found myself being really interested in diving in.
Yeah.
And finding out more based off of this story or this framework for diving into that culture.
Yeah.
I have friends and coworkers who are big skateboarders, and I specifically asked them about this trailer and like, what did they think of it? Does this encapsulate skateboard culture pretty decently, or do you think it's more not quite there and it's more Hollywood? And he was like, I don't know, it's a mixture of it all. And I was like, okay, so for me it's like super skateboard heavy.
Yeah.
Like the locations and it's just.
I mean, for God's sakes, the A24 logo is built out of
skateboards. Yeah. The fisheye lens when they're shooting their own stuff. You know,
definitely.
I just didn't know if that was a little too on the nose for someone who grew up in the mid '90s skateboarding. So I find it really fascinating. I loved this trailer. I thought it was really great, and I'm a sucker for a good coming of age movie too.
Sure.
So, and this one looks like super different and one that I, don't feel like I've seen this before. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. What did you think of it overall?
Overall, I liked it. That angle of he wants the acceptance of his older brother, and therefore, because he can't get it, he falls into the skateboarding crowd. That was something that I gleaned after a handful of watches. It wasn't like readily apparent.
See, I'm still not even at that. Or I haven't even caught it. You saying that was the first time I heard that. For me, it feels more like that's just his group of friends.
Oh, and like, see, I got from him riding up on the bike at the beginning and seeing the kids yelling at the store owner and getting into that argument, and he's across the street and he smiles. It was kind of like, oh, look at this group of people. Like, they seem really cool.
All right, Kevin, I guess that makes sense.
To be fair, this trailer is seriously played in front of, like, every movie I have seen in a theater over the course of the past couple of months, so I've had a lot of fucking time with this thing.
Sure. Which I've only seen it, I think, like 3 or 4 times, so.
Sure. I would hope that kind of gets built up a little bit more in the movie itself. I think those pieces are there, because otherwise, what are we getting out of this? Like, how is the kid coming of age?
Exactly.
And that's why I pulled that specifically, the brother angle. Otherwise, ultimately, like, what is the thing that he's learning? That he likes skateboarding? I mean, that's sort of neat, but,
He better be learning some sick tricks.
At least a couple.
Like, if he doesn't end the movie nailing the 900, I don't know what I'm doing.
Or a kickflip McTwist. He's young. I'm not expecting him to pull off a 900, but if he doesn't grind on a rail and get that perfect
I'm expecting the 900, Kevin.
At the very least, if he can get the S, the K, the T, and the E of the skate tokens that are floating around the
Or at least 3 out of 5 hidden tapes.
That's
all I'm saying.
That's fair. Okay. I think that is not too much to ask.
For anyone listening, we're still making Tony Hawk Pro Skater video game references. Okay, great. I
was about to say you're either too old to get that, but now it's at the point where you might be too young for that reference, and that's equally scary for me.
It's fun. We're at a fun age.
We're at that middle ground.
Anyway, so what did
the mid 90s.
What do you give this one?
Overall, I'd give this a need to see. I think the only thing that I'm still kind of wishy-washy on is the aspect ratio, because 4:3 is what the aspect ratio was for television in the mid 90s.
Yeah,
but not necessarily for film, and that seemed like an interesting directorial choice, just because.
Yeah.
To me, it comes across as nostalgia, but it's not nostalgia for the time period that it's actually emulating. But fuck it, I'll see the movie and let you know if there is more intent behind it.
Yeah, part of me is just like, I don't really care about the specifics of if that's what films were at the time, and I kind of like the aspect ratio. So yeah, I don't know. I liked it. It's a need to see it for me.
Oh, we got a double need to see.
A double need to see for both of us. And that would be a double McTwist, double impossible grind manual. But anyway, I really liked it, so.
Yeah, me too. All right, very cool. We should cap this all off with the apocalypse.
That's a good ending.
Yeah. All right. Yes. This is Anna and the Apocalypse.
Justin Bieber's a zombie.
Kind of like this. We're getting Halloween in there. If we had a Thanksgiving movie, we could have hit the trifecta of holidays.
There's a serious, heartbreakingly lack of Thanksgiving movies out there. Yeah. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles will forever be the movie. But
one.
There's just Thanksgiving? No. Fuck you. Anyway, Christmas.
Christmas, yes, with Anna and the Apocalypse. This is directed by John McPhail.
Hopefully a mixed success, though.
Thank you. Thank you for saying it.
Thanks.
Written by Alan McDonald and Ryan McHenry. This is starring Ella Hunt, Malcolm Cumming, Sarah Swire, Christopher LeVeaux. Our random shout out. This is relatively a cast of unknowns by the look of it.
That makes sense.
Could have picked fucking whoever, but I will pick Sean Conner as Graham. Hey, Sean, let me take a look and just make sure that you're not like a
super
huge
famous
star. It doesn't. No, he's only been in like 8 things. Okay,
so
Sean Conner.
Sean Conner. I'm very proud of you.
Damn straight.
Yes.
All right. So, what is going on here? Why are we talking about Christmas so much? Belying its title, Anna and the Apocalypse is a Christmas movie.
Absolutely.
Now, what kind of apocalypse is this? Because there are so many fucking post-apocalyptic movies. You got to be more specific.
I'll take that one, Kevin.
What is it?
It's a zombie apocalypse.
It is, yeah.
That's a shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
was either going to be a virus or
a
zombie.
Maybe environmental, but it usually leads to the first two anyway. Yeah.
So it's a zombie movie, guys. It's a zombie Christmas movie, but hold on.
There is more.
We're not done yet.
Mm-mm.
It is a Christmas zombie musical. You heard that correctly. As crazy and audacious as it sounds.
Like, this trailer is going to start. It starts with a 'Twas the Night Before Christmas riff, which, if you're anything like me, you're probably watching that and you're going, boo, because it's been done to death. It's an easy joke. Where's this going? Oh, it's a zombie movie. Okay. Like,
zombie and Christmas.
There's a lot of those.
Very clever.
And then all of a sudden a title card gets thrown at you. Musical. And you go, excuse me? And then you see fuckers dancing. And that's when it starts to click. Oh my God, there's way more going on here than
not just like swaying side to side. Like musical numbers. Yeah. Choreography happening in this movie.
Here's my one big criticism of this. There is a song that plays over this. I have to assume it's a song from the film. Otherwise, we don't directly see one of those song numbers in action in this trailer. And given that it's a musical, it makes me a little nervous.
Hey, look, I've like 100% certain every single time we have reviewed a movie that is a musical, they refrain from putting an actual, like, what looks to be footage and song sunk of an actual musical number. Beauty and the Beast live action did it. I complained about it then. The first 2 La La Land trailers,
son of a bitch, you're right.
They just had voiceover of song.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
I have to believe that it is studios being afraid to market it as a full-on musical. But, like, you're practically there with this one.
The musical is the selling point to this. Otherwise,
chorus,
why else would you see the movie?
You hear the chorus singing, you see the dancing, but you haven't quite married the two yet, which I just find so odd and fascinating, though, too. But you're right. And, yes, it bugs me still. But I just feel like that's like a studio note.
Now, at this point, it's like we're going to keep harping on it because it is ludicrous that you're doing a musical trailer and not showing active singing happening.
It is high time that we change the trailers.
Should look at the Les Mis trailer. Do you feel like they pulled that shit with Les Mis?
There's no way in hell they pulled that with Les Mis. Les Mis, they could not get away from the fact that I remember specifically.
I would say that's different though because that is an opera.
There's
you
literally nothing.
Cannot fucking avoid it.
If you want to have anyone opening their mouth in the trailer, they're gonna be singing.
Yeah.
So this one, anyway, with the exception of that, I have gone on record very recently to say that I think I'm about there where I'm finally starting to get burnt out of zombie films. I said it very recently. Mm-hmm. You know what might bring me back though is a goofy, gory zombie Christmas musical.
Yeah.
And I honestly found a lot of joy in this trailer.
I did too. Like the second the musical aspect hit, all of a sudden my interest was piqued. And it was retained through the rest of it.
It did take one detour to
the Justin
Bieber joke, which was bland and lame. It is essentially the same joke like Zombieland did, but with Bill Murray, or I think they mentioned like Eddie Van Halen or something. It's like celebrity's a zombie now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we get it. Celebrities becoming zombies. So it's not that funny. Also, you picked a celebrity who's really not, like, that talked about anymore.
Not as culturally relevant.
No. You gotta pick someone.
Easiest thing, just don't do the joke.
Or don't do the joke because it's been done before. I go with, you know what, I'd change my mind, Kevin. Don't do the joke.
Or even just, like, have it be a dead celebrity. Just be like, guys, Gandhi's back.
Whoever you want. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, that was really the only aspect that I disliked. And it's right in the middle, too. So it's like, it was a very unfortunate spot because it really pulls you out of it.
It hit me like a speed bump.
They drop the music.
Yeah.
And then they have this guy say that line that's not funny. And then they go back to the fun of it. And then I'm not able to go back to the fun right away. I have to kind of work myself back into it. Because I'm like, I just heard a bad joke though. Okay, fine, I'm back in now. Happy fun times.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really thought this was a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see it. Because it's a need to see it for me.
Okay, cool. I think the blahness of that joke, but also... And I know it's a mean thing to pick on because apparently that is a thing. And that's a really good point, you pointing out that is a thing. Just because the joke itself sort of fell flat, I feel like I want at least one song just so that way... Because if the humor in the songwriting is at that level too...
That's not good.
That's not good.
Exactly, right.
So I'm definitely at a strong need to see more. I will actively seek out another trailer for this. Because again, the premise in of itself, okay, yeah, this would get me back into a zombie movie. But if the humor isn't my cup of tea, then I would probably end up skipping it, regardless.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I kind of want to change my answer.
I mean, I haven't officially given a rating.
So I know, but I don't know. That was a really excellent point. It looks like, but it feels like a teaser, doesn't it?
Kind of does.
With the exception of the one joke and the fact that it's kind of a teaser. You know what? Fuck it. I'm doing it, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm changing my answer to a need to see more.
And I'm also at a need to see more.
Okay, well,
all right,
yay,
cool.
Great.
We did it.
But that's a testament to how good of a teaser it is, I think. The fact that I was convinced for a hot second that it was a need to see it. But no, you nailed it on the head. Bless you.
Thank you.
Shut up. You nailed it on the head, though. That is important. This is a zombie Christmas musical. Clearly, it's a comedy. If the comedy isn't up to snuff, that is...
It's just going to make this all the more great.
That's 25% of your movie, and that will sink you.
Yeah.
So, excellent point, and that is why you changed my mind, sir.
Yeah.
That's about it, though, I think, isn't it?
It is about it, yeah. Before we go, we want to let you know that we are on YouTube, as always.
What?
Yes.
But not always. It's relatively new still, but, always going forward.
Yes, absolutely. You can find every single episode that we have done on our YouTube, including this one. You might be listening to it there. We also wanted to give someone a shout out.
A big old shout out.
Yes.
Yeah, someone commented on our YouTube, our most recent episode on YouTube, and we just want to encourage that, guys. Encourage an open dialogue with listeners or fans or people that or just want to comment on something.
Did you find the Justin Bieber joke funny in the Anna and the Apocalypse trailer? Fucking right.
Let us know. But right now, we're giving a shout out to Mr. John Marsachek. Thank you, John, for commenting on our video. And I hope you enjoy the show.
Definitely.
But yeah, other than that, you can also find us on iTunes.
Yes.
We are experiencing some issues with iTunes.
God,
it is an ongoing battle, but we're in the trenches.
Yep.
And it's exhausting. Mm-hmm. We're fighting through it.
We'll keep on fighting until the end.
Yeah. So
even if it takes as long as that fucking Queen movie probably looks like it, it's a biopic. It's probably going to be 2.5 hours.
It's going to be long.
It was a long joke.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But we are on YouTube for the time being. Listen to us there. We're also on...
We are also on Stitcher. You can also find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter at Trailer Hitch Pod. You can find us on Instagram at Trailer Hitch Podcast. There's so many social medias.
Just like and subscribe stuff on YouTube, on iTunes. Yes. Please give us a comment. Yeah. Review us. Review the review show. Like it's an endless circle here, guys. But
the circle
of podcasts,
podcasts.
Reviews. Anyway, a big thanks to Danny Schmitz from Lost in Name for our bitchin' intro theme.
Yes, and a huge thank you to Casey Clowers for our awesome outro theme, which you'll be hearing momentarily. Before that, though, I also want to give a shout out to Rachel Ashley for our dope cover art. If you like that cover art,
so dope.
You can find her at Mighty Creations on Instagram. Otherwise, I think that about covers
That's all I got, other than a cheers, so we can just finish these whiskeys here.
Cheers
clink,
to
clink, clink.
you.
And I think we'll call it a day.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.
We'll see you next time, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, bye.
You can't mount holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
I'll take that one, Kevin.
What is it? Well, he'll take it first. You gotta go right in there. Fucking be more aggressive, James.
Fuck you, Car. How's that for aggressive?